That's my thoughts, that's my ways, that's my attitude, I'm looking sideways. That's my thoughts, that's my ways, that's my attitude, I'm looking sideways.
Hi, I am Icy Kendrick, also known as Icy The Medium, and if you are a member of the Covenant of Christian, which is a community, my initiated high priestess name is Queen Maremi. So, this week we are talking about the biblical archetype for life path number 5. For those of you who are joining us new this week, we are following along in the book Finding Love by Design, and I decided to do something different in honor and celebration of us crossing over 300 subscribers on our way to 500 subscribers. I will be giving away copies of this book below in the comments. So if you don't have your copy already, you can grab a free copy below. We will be reading the book Finding Love by Design, How Life Path Numbers and Scripture Reveals Your True Match. Now, when I wrote this book, really sitting in meditation and thinking about life path numbers, numerology, the two different historical forms of numerology. And being a preacher's kid, I couldn't help but also think about the biblical archetypes that was supposed to teach us certain different things as biblical markers in our journey. So last week, who was last week? I think life path 4 was Joseph. I did also end that video with angel insight, so if you are looking for what those birthdays were, starting from this video on, I will be posting the birthdays in the description. So you can directly be like, hey, is she talking about me? What is she talking about? You can just look in the description, see if it's your birthday, and follow along with us. We'll be continuing to read in chapter 4. I have my copy here. I'm scrolling down in my ebook. Chapter 4, page, I think we left off on page 23. So we're going to go to page 24. Chapter 4, page 24. Yep. So life path 4 biblical archetype was Joseph this week. Life path 5, let's get into it. The Freedom Seeker. Traits of life path 5, the Freedom Seeker, is that all life path 5s are adventurous. They have a huge adaptability. They are extremely curious, and it's part of the reason why they travel. They have to work on taking risks, appropriate risks. So let's be careful of that. So I'm not saying go to a casino and gamble a bunch of money because you might win. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone willing to set their foot on a new path, a new adventure, new territory, and put themselves out there in a way that they might not have put themselves out there before. Okay? You're putting yourself out there in ways you might not have put yourself out there before. Now, in my book, Finding Love by Design, there is a love strategy for each specific life path number. You can look at your life path number, your partner's life path number, and see how those two numbers combine together. Keeping in memory that as you have a life path number, it means the course of every so many years, you will have your great awakening, your great chance for improvement, your huge lessons. So as a life path 5, you will naturally have your lessons every 5 years. Depending on if your 5 is broken down from a 41 or a 23, it does matter because a 41 broken down life path is somebody that needs more disciplines and structures and the boost of independence and confidence, versus a 23, which is someone who would need to work on having more cooperation in their partnerships and to express their creative energy so they do not essentially find themselves in places like mental hospitals, jails, foreign jails. Like it's It's using your creativity in a way that helps you to express your soul, essentially. Like, if you are, this is not even life path 3, but as a life path 3, baby, we have to express. When we don't, things get scattered, things get wild, things get a little interesting on a negative scale. So creativity as a 3 is very important. So if you are life path 5, please take into account. I think in the previous video I taught you guys how to find your life path number. So really quickly, if you add all the numbers together on your birthday, I just add them by month first, day first, year, and then add the numbers together. You are going to bring those numbers to a single digit unless you get a master number of 11, 22, 33, and 44. So it does matter if you are a life path 5 based on being a 41, 14, or 23. Now, if you are life path 5 based on a 14, that is a karmic number. It means that you may have a tendency to withhold sex or different things within the relationship to feel powerful. It's definitely sex related. You being told that in a previous lifetime you was a major cheater. So you might instinctually have this fear of being cheated on if you are a 14-5, because that is a karmic number. If you have not checked out my series on karmic numbers, I invite you to go ahead and check them out. I did create videos on numbers 1 through 19, I believe. Because 19-1, yeah, 19-1 is karmic. So yes, I definitely did the 19, 16, 17, 14, 13. And I have not yet gotten into karmic master numbers, but that's another video. All right, so we're going to continue reading chapter 4, Look, I'm thinking about the Bible. Chapter 4 in the book Finding Love by Design on page 24. It says here, we're going to, I was going to skip over, but I'm going to read it. So if you are on page 24 with us, I'm just going to go ahead and read the love strategy for Life Path 5. Life Path 5s are adventurous souls who value freedom, change, and personal growth. They seek a relationship that often excites them, that offers excitement, adaptability, and the freedom to explore new experiences. For Life Path 5s, a partner who shares their zest for life and encourages their curiosity will create a dynamic and fulfilling relationship that allows both individuals to grow together while maintaining their individuality, which is extremely important for Life Path 5. There is key advice, but like I said, if you are watching along, we are reading out of my book, Finding Love by Design, and I will be giving away free copies of my book, Finding Love by Design, the audiobook below. So if you see the book codes under this video, grab your copy before they're all gone, because once they're gone, they're gone. Okay? Who is the biblical archetype for Life Path 5? If you were following along on page 24, you know that Life Path 5 biblical archetype is Apostle Paul. So it says here at the bottom of page 24, Paul the Apostle, based on the scriptures, Bible scriptures, I would say book of Acts, chapter 9, verses 15. Paul's life exemplifies the journey of a spiritual adventurer who seeks purpose and freedom in service to a higher calling. So what does that mean? I'm going to continue reading. Known for his transformative journey and missionary travels, Paul embodies the adaptability and commitment to exploration that defines a Life Path 5. His life was marked by a relentless pursuit of truth and purpose, often facing change and challenges head on. Paul's story encourages Life Path 5s to seek a love that respects their need for freedom and growth, balancing adventure with a shared sense of purpose and direction in life. So, Paul, I'm a preacher's kid. If you grew up in the Christian church as any one of the black preacher's kids, you probably heard the story a long time, over and over and over again. the story when Paul was first a Pharisee. It's Pharisee, right? Oh, it's been a minute. So either a Pharisee or a Sadducee. Make a long story short, he was such a stickler for the Torah, for the book of the law, that he was helping to persecute Christians who he felt was coming against the law, trying to abolish the law, disrespecting the law, coming against this guy. He was just ready to take them out. So it got to a point where he was getting ready to start pursuing other Christians in different locations. And it said that the Spirit of the Lord came on him and blinded him because he needed to physically see what spiritually was going on. And so because he was spiritually blind and just, self-righteously killing people because he was, about that life. He was about that life. And you may be wondering why this video is a bit late. I actually caught some cold that my kids brought home from school. So I have been sitting here with my diffuser, having my essential oils going, just lots of love, self-care as I am recovering myself and working towards my children recovering because they have my other diffuser, okay? They got it. Long story short, once Paul was blinded, he was directly shown that a man would visit him. And so another man, I did not read the story beforehand to get y'all these names right, so this is off because I'm off down. But I think this man's name was, I don't want to say it wrong. But I'm going to just say, look, you know who the dude was. Dude got a vision, was told in the vision that when the Apostle Paul get there to basically pray over his eyes, heal his eyes so that he could be able to see. It was a period of Paul's life where he had to experience blindness so he could learn to trust. And so, coming from a Christian background, that is such a very challenging period in a person's life when God is putting you in a position where he wants you to just trust him. Same thing with the Apostle Paul. Before he became the Apostle Paul, he was blinded and he had to trust. He had to trust that if he followed these commandments, if he followed these instructions, somebody would meet him with healing, which is what happened. I keep wanting to say Ananias, but I do not think that's his name. Anyway, dude came in, did what he was supposed to do over his eyes. The scales fell off of Paul's eyes and Paul regained his sight. So it was at that moment, being blinded and talking to the Spirit of the Lord, where he had the chance for not only his physical eyes to be open, but also his spiritual eyes. And that led him to pursue a different journey that definitely completely changed his journey of faith. So he started to travel, minister, and teach in his own way. Sometimes a lot of Christians get caught up on his teachings. Some will say, Paul, ignore Paul. He ain't know what he's talking about. Others will acknowledge what Peter said in the Bible, where he said that Paul's writings were hard to understand if you're not somebody that is already familiar with the book of the law, with the Torah, with their customs. If you were not familiar with that, you might not clearly understand what Paul was talking about, which was the direct warning from Peter. So when I see people debating and, arguing like they have all this knowledge, or if their knowledge is more powerful than the other, I am from the school of thought that you study to show thyself approved. If you want to know about something, you learn about it. And if you want to learn about it, you study about it. And it is not to be a know-it-all, or it's not to be in somebody's face. It's not to think of yourself as higher than somebody else. No, it's just actually for your own knowledge and for your spiritual journey. So Life Path Biblical Archetype is the Apostle Paul, the apostle who some say was chosen by God, not by the actual apostles. As you know, before, whenever they were trying to replace Judas, they had their ways of, some people call it divination, some people just say, whoever got the straw, the longest straw, the shortest straw, whoever got the pick. It was just the way they perceived it to be ordained to be, but that's not the way God did it. God chose who he wanted to choose, and that is the life example of a life path 5. So stay with my record of not trying to keep these videos too long, and I did a little bit. Let me go ahead to the angel insights and let's see which birthdays we'll have for this week. Alright, so just like I said before, I will be putting the birth dates underneath the video in the description. So if these birth dates stand out to you, if this is your birthday, please take a listen. I'm going to call out 2 human distortions and 2 divine gifts. And this is your physical angel if you were born April 15th through April 20th. This is your emotional angel if you were born January 14th, March 26th, June 8th, August 23rd, or November 4th. This is your emotional angel. This is your intelligence angel if you were born between the time of 1:40 a.m. and 1:59 a.m. Okay, so 2 human distortions that pop out. External beauty only. External beauty only and tendency to take everything for granted. So these are 2 human distortions that are associated with the birth dates and the birth time that I've given. Why would these 2 things be human distortion? Well, one, having external beauty only, which means that you're just dang, I hate sounding mean, so I want to work on that. Might be an asshole. You just, might be a little bit of an asshole, a little bit of mean-spirited. You need to understand that beauty comes from a place inside that manifests outside. It is not something that is only outwardly appearance. So to have external beauty only on a human distortion side, which means there's a gift associated with that on the light side. And before I turn, I want to get to this one. The second one I listed for a human distortion side, which says that there's a tendency to take everything for granted. If your birthday is April 15th to April 20th, this is your physical angel. If your birthday is January 14th, March 26th, June 8th, August 23rd, November 4th, this is your emotional angel. If you were born between the time of 1:40 a.m. to 1:59 a.m., this means that it is being brought to your attention that every time abundance comes to you, every time a gift comes to you, blessings come to you, you may not notice it for what it is because you may be focused on something else. Common themes that may come up for you is how you define beauty. How do you define contentment? How do you define, I don't want to say healing, but I want to say healing because I see it on the human distortion side, and I already know that's the one I want to talk about on the other side, so let's just go for it. So this human distortion says that this person might struggle with the human distortion of having a lack of love, which prevents healing in their understanding of themselves. So the only reason that would be a major human distortion to be listed like that is if you have a natural gift of healing for yourself and others on the divine light side. So as soon as I turn it over, the first gift it says is divine light that heals everything. Divine light that heals everything. You have a gift that shares a divine light of love that heals everything. Not everybody has this. You may be able to forgive more than you may think you're possibly capable of forgiving because you have this divine gift on your light side. And the second one I'm going to let you guys know about. Oh my gosh, there's so many good ones. Like I said, I'm going to put those birthdays in the description. And if these are your birthdays, you need to know that you're an artist, that you're a celebrity. I don't even be listing off all these divine gifts. I got excited when I turned it over, okay? It says you're supposed to be renowned with happiness, great fortune. You're supposed to have beauty that is not only on the outside, but naturally on the inside and mirrors outwardly. And you might wonder what type of artist. It says art that expresses oneself well in society. So it's type of art that needs to be out among others, that other people need to recognize, that other people need to see, that other people may glean healing from. For those of you who have been following along and you're like, well, I see you giving Life Path 5, like, all these divine gifts. But I got really excited. I'm like, oh my God, this person is a celebrity through talent and achievements. They have a lot of divine gifts going on, but they're going to have constant themes of beauty and money. Constant. Why? Because it's on the human distortion side as well as the divine gift side. And when it's on the human distortion side, it is there to show you like, hey, you're not thinking about this clearly. Hey, pay attention to this. Or hey, this experience may have happened to you or continues to happen to you to get your attention to pay attention to it. Why? Because it's on the divine light side as well. This person's beauty is not just for themselves. They help to beautify everything around them. The way this person loves is so dynamic that it restores communities. If you found that this is your those are your birthdays, whether it be your physical angel, emotional angel, or intelligence angel, you need to be aware of your human distortions and what the things that God is truly using to grow you rapidly. Because when you have gifts that this big and this powerful, they're not meant for you. Other people are waiting on you too. So those are the angel insights for this week. Again, I do apologize for being briefly late. The kids, they didn't got me with what they brought home, but soon we are all on the mend. We are all healing, as we know that when sickness overcomes the body, that is when, especially if you are a North Node. If you are a North Node and sickness overcomes the body, you are being told to rest. So usually those who have a North Node in Pisces have a difficult time taking breaks for themselves, have a difficult time sitting there doing nothing, and so they will easily get sick, more easier to make sure they rest. So this is the biblical archetype for Life Path 5, which is Apostle Paul. These are your angel insights, and if you did not hear the birthdays, they're in the description below. Thank you for watching.
That's my thoughts, that's my ways, that's my attitude, I'm looking sideways. That's my thoughts.